for chapter 2 exam practice question. So the first question says the basic economic problem is, yeah?
D, right?
D, yeah, it's D, yeah. What is to produce, how it is to be produced, and for whom it's to be produced. That's economic problem. That's sorted. So the second question says, define the term opportunity cost. And opportunity cost, that's...
This opportunity from a potential loss.
Well, it's good, but you have to put it this way. Opportunity cost is the next best alternative that is forgone. You are supposed you have choices to make, and the cost of you leaving that, making a choice, means that something has to go for that. So I have to make a choice either taking A or B. So I choose to take A. Not that B is not important too, but I have to only choose one out of them. So that makes B the next best alternative forgone. Do you understand? So the choice that you didn't make, the choice that was not made, is the opportunity cost, while the choice that was made is the real cost. Is it clear? Now the third one, they said, explain why both the UK government and the US government have to make choices. So I said here, based on the article, the UK government had to make choices as spending so much on, for example, the two cancer drugs. The two cancer drugs will mean that other areas might not be touched. That's why the NHS, they said, the drugs proposed by Roche, the Swiss pharmaceutical company, is not cost effective. It's too expensive for government to bear. So that's why they rejected it. Do you understand? So they made the choice of they made the choice to be cost effective. So the NHS doesn't want to spend so much on certain drugs when there are other areas that they have to work on or to finance. Do you understand? That's for the UK. Then for the US, I said, why the US government had to also make a choice as spending so much on defense, because the Trump administration wants to spend so much on defense, not making climate change a priority. Do you understand? Which his opponents are saying no, that if so much is spent on defense and climate change is left alone, that means a lot of industries in the USA will use almost all the world's energy. So what will be left for the future generation? So that was the criticism. Like, why do you want to spend so much on defense and not taking care of the climate, or not prioritizing the climate change? Do you understand? So that's why I said here, while the US government had to also make a choice, as spending so much on defense will mean that present issues such as the climate change, which is the priority of the environmental department, will not be taken care of, and that could affect the future generation. So here, there's an opportunity cost, and there's a choice to be made. So the Trump administration made a choice spending on defense than spending on environmental situations. Is it clear? Then the third one, number 4, right? Explain how the passage demonstrates the following concept. Thank you. Scarcity. What is scarcity? Scarcity means resource allocation is not enough. That means there is a problem about resource allocation. Limited resources, unlimited ones. So that is scarcity, a layman definition or a literal definition for scarcity. But as used in this passage, in this extract, so I said, this has made the NHS ensures resources are allocated as fairly as possible because there's scarcity. So the NHS or the UK government had to make choices so that whatever resources they are allocating is allocated fairly. Do you understand? Because not everybody will get it. So they want to ensure that there is fair allocation of resources. Why do they want to ensure there is fair allocation of resources? Because resources are scarce. Is it clear? Choice. So I used the NICE. I said the NICE had to make a choice by rejecting the two cancer drugs proposed by Roche. So that's a choice made. So they made the NHS made a choice of not accepting the 2 drugs proposed by Roche, the Swiss pharmaceutical company. That's the choice they made. So that's the concept of choice. But for choice means that a decision has to be made. The decision has to be made. And whenever you need to make a decision, you are making a choice. Is it clear? C, opportunity cost. Here I use the US government. It said, the US government spending on defense makes it difficult to spend on ways to effectively make the environmental friendly. That is, reduction of the use of the world's energy. So here, there's opportunity cost. The US government spends on defense, security, which makes it difficult for the US government to prioritize the climate change. So the climate change becomes the opportunity cost. Is that clear? Now we go to positive economics. And what is even positive economics? The objective study of the allocation of resources. When you objectively study allocation of resources, that means you are going to allocate resources, but you think you've done it fairly. So before you allocate resources to where it should be allocated. Do you understand positive economics? That's why I said positive economics is the objective study of the allocation of resources. So objectivity means you are being real to yourself. That is positive economics. It's not about opinions of people. It's about doing the right thing at the right time. Do you understand positive economics here? So that is the definition for positive economics. The objective study of allocation of resources. So how does this affect the extract? I said the NHS had to fairly allocate resources. Do you understand? This is what we call positive economics. They have to fairly allocate resources. And remember, positive economics is what? The objective study of allocation of resources. Is it clear? Then we go to normative economics. Normative economics. That's the last one. They said, what is normative economics? This is the study that is based on judgmental. That is based on judgmental events about allocation of resources. That means resources that are allocated, you have to make your own opinion about how resources are allocated. When you have to make your own opinion on how resources are allocated, it is normative economics. So look at what I wrote here. I said, normative economics, the study and the presentation of policy involving valid judgment about the way in which scarce resources are allocated. Resources have to be allocated. They have to be. But how do we allocate them? So if these resources have to be allocated, and we need to make a judgment regarding how they are being allocated, it is a normative economics. So what is a normative economics in these extracts? Roche, the Swiss pharmaceutical company, said the refusal to back both cancer drugs shows that UK's drug evaluation system no longer fit for purpose. That means it's no longer working. Do you understand? So Roche made a judgment that the UK government not backing their proposed cancer drugs meant that the UK's evaluation on drugs is no longer fit for purpose. And when they say it's no longer fit for purpose, it means it's no longer working. Do you understand? So this is a normative statement. You are making a statement based on your own opinion. But yeah, Roche is making such statement because Roche proposed the cancer drugs to the NHS. Do you understand? And the NHS refused it because they believe it is not cost effective. Do you understand? And when they say it is not cost effective, it means the value for the money is not there, or it is not what they can spend on based on the budget. So they had to allocate resources fairly using what? Positive economics. Then Roche had to reply by saying what? The UK drug evaluation system is no longer fit for purpose. It's no longer working. Which is what? A normative economics or a normative statement there. Is it clear? That's all about the first exam practice.